Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea, welcome back to your Chelsea news, and today's video is a big one because Chelsea have revealed all of their plans for the 25-26 season, and that includes player roles for Andrey Santos, Darrio Essugo and Romeo Lavia. Not only that, but an update regarding the goalkeeping situation and a refreshed summer transfer list. Now, of course, I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10K by the end of 2025. Kicking things off, S. Johnson Sport has reported that Chelsea intend to add another striker, right-footed left winger and centre-back to the group in the transfer window this summer. Reaching the Champions League will provide more funds and help them beat rivals to their first choice targets. Now, I have done a video in this on the channel where we went through the summer transfer list. David Ornstein revealed a big list, or a short list, of all of these positions that Chelsea are looking to target. And to be honest, I don't see those changing too much. However, there has been some reports recently of other players. I think it's Hato for Ajax potentially as a centre-back that's now added onto the list, among a few others. You know, Nico Williams on the left wing side, Jamie Gittins, Garnacho. For the striker, obviously you've got the normal sort of culprits of of Osimhen, Gyökeres, Sesko, and Delap. We know most of these transfer targets. The difference is here is they say that reaching the Champions League will provide more funds, which is 100% correct, and it will help beat rivals to their first choice targets. What we want to know is who are the first choice targets, because if we're waiting to see if we qualify for the Champions League to then go in for these players, I don't know if that puts us at an advantage or a disadvantage, purely because our rival clubs have the funds already and everyone seems to be in a race to sign a number 9 this summer. Chelsea want their business done before the Club World Cup. That is a very short window. Very, very short window. It's been reported that Arsenal are in serious talks with Jamie Gittins. I reported on here a few days ago, maybe last week, that Chelsea are really interested in Jamie Gittins and we want to spend as much money as we can, potentially with a swap deal with Carney Chukwuemeka to Dortmund, Gittins coming the other way, whether it's plus cash or not, you know, regardless. So already, just on Jamie Gittins, and I know a lot of people aren't massive fans on Jamie Gittins, I personally am. I think he's an incredible young talent. I think he would fit very well into Enzo Maresca's system and the squad. Especially on that left-hand side. I don't want Garnacho personally, and I just don't see us paying the wages for Nico Williams because it's reported he wants over £400,000 a week, which is ridiculous. And even when you look at the strikers, Osimhen, I don't think we're going to pay the wages. You've got Delap, who I feel like we will end up buying, but again, you've got Manchester United and other clubs that are all going in to try and sign Delap. It's going to be a case of who can present the better wages, the better project, the better deal in that sense. Centre-back seems to be a bit all over the place right now in terms of who we're targeting. But if we're waiting for the Champions League qualification, and obviously it is still on right now, we are in some incredible form, especially after that Liverpool win, and I firmly believe that we can secure Champions League places this season. It's going to be very interesting because you're not leaving yourself a lot of time if you're waiting on to see what funds, rather than sort of buying the players that you need and pre-planning for that. We've got the shirt sponsor that gives us an extra, I think it's like 7 or 8 mil or something like that between now and the end of the season, which could obviously bolster some wages potentially. If we're waiting around, I can see our rivals hoovering up some of our targets. And I don't think that Chelsea are in the position right now to wait. If we want all of our business done before the Club World Cup, that does not leave a long time between the end of the season, or officially our last game of the season, if we make it to the Conference League finals, which we should, and then go into the Club World Cup. The turnaround is very, very quick. So if we want to get all our business done now, we should be doing as much as we can behind closed doors with the right people, paying the right wages, not waiting to see if we qualify to then see what we can actually offer these players. Seems a bit of a dangerous tactic. Hopefully it pays off, but at the same time, I kind of hope that our club goes after the right players, adds a bit of experience, and can offer them fairly decent wages, you know, that they're actually worth, rather than trying to lowball them and having to settle for less on our list of who we want to go. We want to get these first choice targets. We need to go secure a magical number 9, and the left wing scenario needs to be sorted. Are we keeping Sancho? We obviously can't plan ahead with Mudryk because we don't know what's going on there. So we need some support on that left wing, and we need a number 9 desperately. That is the number 1 target for Chelsea this summer. It has to be. But not only that, Arsenal are going after a number 9. United are going after a number 9. A lot of other clubs are going after a number 9. The world is in short supply of world-class number 9s because of the way football has adapted over the last 5 or 10 years. So it'll be very interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below. S. Johnson Sport then continues to report that Chelsea are not planning to sign another goalkeeper for now. And that means a decision will be made between Sanchez, Petrovic, Jorgensen and Penders. He will complete a move from Genk, with the latter most likely to be sent on loan. we've had a lot of discussions on this channel and on my TikTok account regarding goalkeepers, right? I think we can unilaterally agree that Sanchez just isn't good enough to be Chelsea's number one, right? And I know that Sanchez has improved massively, especially in 2025. He's done well. He's now starting to turn heads a little bit of like, oh, he can be a good goalkeeper. We knew he was a good shot stopper, but it's just his distribution, and he had loads of mistakes in him earlier in the season, right? Most errors leading to goal in Europe's top 5 leagues. That doesn't change. But he has improved in the second half of the season, or from 2025 onwards, really. I think it was something ridiculous like 7 clean sheets in 8 or something like that, something along those lines. It's pretty impressive for a player like Sanchez. We've also seen Jorgensen. We were screaming out for Jorgensen earlier in the season. He got his chance, and he's even full of mistakes. He's not ready yet. I don't think he's adapted to the league. Obviously, he's still young, and he can improve. So we're all screaming for Petrovic to come back, who's had an absolute incredible season on loan, and he's been one of the best goalkeepers in Europe statistically in terms of his distribution, clean sheets, shot stopping percentages, etc. He's just on fire. He has developed into this goalkeeper that we need. So I feel like Petrovic is going to come back and be number one, and Sanchez will be the number 2, and they'll fight it out for the number 1 spot. When it comes to Penders, I think again he is going to be incredible when it comes to long-term development and growth, right? The potential that guy's got is unbelievable, and the sort of way he's playing at Genk has been unreal as well this season. So I feel like the loan makes sense for Penders. It just makes the most sense for Penders. And then you've got Sanchez, Petrovic and Jorgensen. I feel like Petrovic is the solid number 1 for next season. But then you've got Sanchez and Jorgensen. Do you loan another one, or do you let those two fight for the second and first place goalkeepers per spots? Or do we just go out and buy someone experienced? There's a lot of fans that want us to go out and buy a Kobel or a Diogo Costa or a Jan Oblak or Edison if he was available. I think he's going Saudi now. And I understand that. But I honestly feel like Petrovic, with his development and the way he's played, him coming back is going to be an injection of fresh air for this Chelsea's team. And I feel like he did very, very well last season under Poch. He had a couple of mistakes in him, but nowhere near the amount of Sanchez. And yes, like, his distribution isn't what Maresca wants. Fair enough, right? Because not all goalkeepers can play that way. But his shot stopping was fantastic. His positional awareness is fantastic. He saved us time and time again in the Poch era, which, by the way, we conceded the most amount of goals in our history, or the Premier League history, Chelsea's Premier League history under Poch. So we were conceding a lot of goals, and when Petrovic come in, he stopped a lot. We could have conceded more. I back Petrovic. I think he was going to come back and be Chelsea's number 1. So I'm not massively angry that we're not, or disappointed that we're not going for another goalkeeper in the summer, even though a lot of people expect us to go in for another goalkeeper purely because of Sanchez. However, again, I'm not Sanchez's biggest fan, but he has improved massively since the start of the year, like 2025 onwards. But I feel like Jorgensen and Sanchez can fight for number 2 and push for number 1, and Petrovic will walk in and be our number 1. But I would love to know your thoughts down below. Moving on to Romeo Lavia. Nizar Kansila has reported that Romeo Lavia will be carefully managed, but Enzo Maresca is understood to be optimistic that the midfielder's fitness record will continue to improve. His report continues to say, as for the jibes by Liverpool fans, Romeo Lavia appeared to lap them up because as a kid who grew up supporting Chelsea, he enjoys being part of a newly rebuilt squad. I cannot stress enough how important Romeo Lavia is to this Chelsea team. He is absolutely integral to the way we play. He is the cement of this system that connects defence to midfield to attack. He's unbelievable. People forget that he is only 21 years old. And yes, he is always injured. He has a poor injury record. However, it looks like he's getting them out of the way, right? It looks like he's getting them out of the way. The one thing that we have to hope with Lavia is that he can stay fit. And I feel like Enzo Maresca deserves a lot of credit for the management of Fofana, Reece James and Lavia specifically this season, because all 3 of them have played the most games they have in a Chelsea shirt this season. And that's because Enzo Maresca has been very smart, very tactful about when he's going to play these players, how many minutes they're going to be getting, the rotation of how they're coming in. You know, a lot of fans are screaming out for Lavia to play in the Conference League. And I get it. When the Conference League squad was announced, I assumed that Lavia would be in it. But Enzo was like, we're not even going to put him in it because we don't want that workload. We really want to wrap him in cotton wool and make sure he stays fit for as long as possible. Because when this guy plays, he is integral to how Chelsea play games. Caicedo, Lavia and Enzo in that midfield is unbelievable. We know how good Caicedo is, and that guy's got an engine on him. He can run for miles and miles and miles. He's always available, plays every minute possible. Enzo Fernandez, sometimes he can get a bit leggy and a bit fatigued. but 20 GA this season. He's had the best season he has so far in a Chelsea shirt under Enzo Maresca, and the way he's developing his game and being like a, them late runs into the box and being pushed up as more of an advanced 8 or that second 10 next to someone like Cole Palmer. And when Lavia slots in and plays, he's so cool, calm and collected. The way he's so press resistant, it's ridiculous. And that's probably the best way to sum up Romeo Lavia. He can pick a pass, he can tackle, he can intercept, he can dribble out of tight spaces like no one else can. He is fantastic, and it is so paramount that he stays fit, because if he stays fit for large chunks of next season, that completely transforms Chelsea. However, when we go on and talk about the next bit, it will put my mind and a lot of other Chelsea fans' minds at ease, because they've revealed the player roles for Andrey Santos and Darrio Essugo, which is very, very interesting. But before we go on about that, I just want to give Lavia his props, and I would love to know your thoughts about Romeo Lavia below. Would you keep him? Some people were saying we should sell him in the summer because he's just unreliable. He's only 21 years old. He's had a fantastic season for the times that he has played, right? For the times that he has played. If he can stay fit next season, I think it is going to be a pivotal season in his development, and I feel like he's going to be a very vital player in Chelsea's starting 11 or Chelsea's squad to really kick on and compete across the league and all these other trophies, and especially in Europe. And I love the fact that he grew up as a Chelsea fan, and during the Liverpool game, when the Liverpool fans were giving him some stick, he was giving it this, giving it that. He was loving it and lapping it up because we were winning, and obviously he really enjoys being part of this rebuilt squad. I just like it when the players love the club and they want, they're fans growing up and they saw how great of an institution we are, and they're now part of this rebuild and they want to kick on and do things. And yes, it's been a roller coaster for the last few years, but we're finally looking to turn a really big corner to go into next season. And again, Fofana, Lavia, Reece James, we can keep these players fit. It completely upgrades us, especially in that midfield. Lavia, Enzo and Caicedo, the way they played against Liverpool and the way they've played previously together in that system this season. Imagine that for 75% of the season. It would be absolutely unbelievable. So let me know your thoughts down below. And finally, S. Johnson Sport finishes his reports by saying Chelsea already plan to have Andrey Santos providing competition for Romeo Lavia in midfield. Darrio Essugo will be back up for Moises Caicedo. This is absolutely huge. We know that Andrey Santos is coming back. We're super excited to see him play. He looks like a phenomenal player who has developed incredibly well while on loan at Strasbourg. He is coming back. Chelsea have already said we are not entertaining any bids. He's coming back to Chelsea. Darrio Essugo is someone that we bought in the January window. And I personally have only seen very limited things of him, but he looks like a solid DM, right? A player that is in a Moises Caicedo type role and mould, who's going to grow into that, right? So he's going to be like the protege to Caicedo, which is wild considering how young Caicedo is as well, right? But I feel like that's the system we're going to stack. If Romeo Lavia isn't available and we have Andrey Santos, we are laughing. If Caicedo needs rest and we have Essugo or Santos and Fernandes available, we are laughing. We are laughing. If Darrio Essugo, sorry, can invert from right back and play the Caicedo role the way he has been in this Enzo Maresca system, we are laughing. If Fernandes isn't available, we could play Andrey Santos in Fernandes's role. We are laughing. I've said that phrase so much because honestly, this is huge. This is massive for our midfield next season. It bolsters it in such a different way. Think of how many games we could have rested Caicedo, but we couldn't in terms of we don't have the manpower to do it. There isn't a squad rotation. There isn't availability to be able to give him a rest, so he's just had to play. How nice would it be to have another like for Caicedo, who maybe isn't there yet in terms of the skill set, but in the same mould, to be like Caicedo can have a rest and play, rest his legs, play even better on them in them bigger games. You can put someone like Essugo on. Lavia isn't quite fit, or he's only going to play the half. Right, we're going to put on Santos. Santos is really shining. We're going to start him, and Lavia can then take time to rest, and then again you can rotate them. That's an unbelievable holding midfield, like the pivot that can invert and play at right back as well. To allow Enzo Fernandez to have the freedom to go forward like he has been this season, and to have the variety of players that Santos can play in that role to cover for Lavia, in that role to cover for Enzo Fernandez, Essugo can cover for Caicedo, then all of a sudden it's just a massive like-for-like rotation. I'm so excited to see these players playing in the Club World Cup and for next season for Chelsea, because honestly, I know we've been saying it, I know it's a whole trust the process thing and there's still people that don't believe in it, but I'm getting more and more excited the closer to the end of the season we're getting, because we're seeing what the vision was told to us years ago finally having the foundations laid, and we can kick on from it if we have a strong summer window. Yes, we still need a left winger. Yes, we still need an experienced centre-back to replace Wesley Fofana in terms of availability. And we desperately need a number 9 to finish all these chances. However, with the midfield, I am so happy with it, because you've got Enzo playing the games of his life, Caicedo being unbelievable, Lavia when he's fit is unreal, and now we have backup for him in the next season. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you happy with Santos coming in to be cover for Lavia or Enzo, and Essugo to be cover for Caicedo? Or would you go out and buy someone else? Let me know your thoughts down below. And that's all the latest Chelsea news. I'm curious to know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one. But secondly, there will be a thumbnail that appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail, because you'll enjoy that video too.